I'm here with Terry O'Brien at the ACAN Melbourne Networking Night for the Anti-Slavery Network. Terry, wonderful to meet you. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you very much for having a chat with me.
My pleasure. Terry, tell us about the organisation you represent and what you're doing here tonight.
So I represent a company called Qual or Meet, and we're a non-for-profit organisation. And we go out and actually audit companies to make sure they're complying with ethical and social standards.
Love it. So I think, I have to ask, auditors can sometimes get a bit of a bad rap, and I think it's a really valuable tool that companies, especially in the ESG, the slavery space, tell us how you navigate that and help companies see the benefits of that.
Yeah, it can be a difficult role because sometimes companies don't necessarily 100% buy in, but they have to do it. But the advantage is they learn about what they're required to under the law, the standard regulations, what best practices. So if they approach it the right way, it should be a very positive experience.
Absolutely, and very beneficial for them to, to really demonstrate, their credentials right across outside stakeholders.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Terry, tell us about, I think the perception that I've asked a lot of the individual interviewees tonight is that the perception is Australia's free and modern slavery. What's been your experience?
I think one of the biggest issues is getting the message out to Australian industry leaders that slavery occurs in Australia. I think there's a sort of view that Australia is a modern democracy, it has a strong judiciary and police force, border controls, and I think for a lot of people they see these events as being exceptional. I can assure you, being on the coalface, they're not.
Yeah. Are there any sort of industry sectors that are more prone than others?
Look at the international statistics. The most likely areas are agriculture, hospitality, which are big areas in Australia.
Yeah, true. And tell us about tonight. I've watched your network a lot. There's a lot of people passionate about eradicating modern slavery and really making a positive impact. What's been your experience of tonight?
It's been really good because I've met a lot of people who have different skills and opportunities. Been particularly interested to meet people who are involved in the technology side because I think that's important to make auditing more effective and easier. And it's also been great to meet people who actually are enthusiastic about actually getting rid of slavery in Australia.
Yeah, there's a lot of optimism, a lot of buzz around. I think the like-mindedness and the camaraderie that everyone shares here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really important that we get the message out that slavery does occur. And if we correctly lobby, get the right legislation and mechanisms in place, we can stop that.
Yeah, well said, well said. I think, create that awareness, educate people, give them the tools to really ratify and fix those type of things and move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about education, legislation, and then putting the mechanisms in place.
Well said. So, Terry, for those companies who are looking at the video, seeing what's happening tonight, and there might be SMEs or larger corporations, what would be your advice about how to start them on the journey, or actually do it the right way?
Well, my first point would be this is not something that's going to be optional.
Yeah.
With the changes in legislation, standards and regulations, there's going to be heavy punishments, not just from the government, but also from the community. They don't accept this anymore. So my advice is, start the journey by getting somebody in who understands it, plan it, deal with your stakeholders, and put together a good, solid audit plan that backs up your human rights statement.
Yeah, really well done. Congratulations, Terry, for you and Shane, the work you're doing. And I'm sure we'll see more of you throughout the networks and events right across the country.
And thank you very much for inviting me.
Thanks, Shane. Ta.